Beautiful. All right. So we should be live on Facebook and oh my goodness, so many people are so excited. This is a hot topic, right? This is, I think, a dream to have your product at Costco. So I'm super honored to have a real expert that did that many times and can tell you all the secrets and the tips. Our guest, Talor Ofer. So happy you joined us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today, Michal. It's a pleasure being here.
Yes, so we are actually here. Kelsey, I added you as a panelist. We're gonna see if we can even stream it to Facebook.
Kelsey's here. That's cool.
Let's see.
Okie dokie.
Oh, here he is. Even if Kelsey here. Hey, good to see you. How you doing?
Good,
How's it
good.
going, Kelsey?
Good. How are you, Talor?
Very good, thanks.
All right. I know you guys were trying to link to YouTube. I don't want to take up too much time here. I don't think we can do that from here, but we can upload it after it's recorded.
You got it.
All right. Yeah, let's do that. So next time we're gonna actually stream it in many places. I told Talor this retail people are, when we did the podcast, we had so many people viewing and asking questions, and I think we should do, a couple more of those. So today we're gonna focus about Costco, but there's so much more into that. So hopefully we'll come back. And so thank you guys. Thank you, Kels, for jumping in, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks, Kels. All right.
All right. So let's see that you can share your screen.
Oh.
And there's so many people here. Hi,
yes,
everyone. Thank you for taking the time and joining us. I think we're just gonna jump into it, Talor.
Yeah, definitely. So today's hot topic, we're talking about how to work with Costco. And as I mentioned on different platforms and places I showed about this webinar today, I'm going to try and really, release the heavy tools that I can. So let's start generally and briefly before we dive into Costco. So it's a little bit, I mean, sometimes you do something for a long time and many times repetitively. And then when someone talks with you about it and you try to explain what you're doing, you're taking some points as granted, which they're not. So I posted like a couple of weeks ago in my WhatsApp group, I was posting asking if everybody understands what am I talking about when I say department stores, big boxes. And surprisingly, a lot of them answered, no, we don't know what you're saying. So I was like, oh my God, I'm talking about this so many times, not realizing that this term that looks to me so obvious is not really, clarified properly. So just to clarify, department stores, let's say that 20 years ago, I established my own physical store, one store in the state, and then the second, and the third, and so on and so on. At some point, I'm becoming a chain store. At some point, when it's becoming like 30 stores or above, well, it could be 20, but 30 is a minimum. This is considered as big box department stores. Now there are approximately 29,000 department stores in the USA, while some of them have, as I mentioned, 30 stores. Most of them would have a couple of hundreds, 200, 500, whatever. The giants would have a couple of thousands, like TJ Maxx, they have more than 4,000 stores. But if you look at one of the giants, which is Costco only has 600 stores. Surprise, surprise. Every time we talk about Costco, when I'm going to such conversation, I'm surprised, not me, but people are surprised that it's only 600 stores. Because if you look at the market, if you look at the biggest pharmacy chain store in the USA, which is CVS, they have almost 10,000 stores, 9,900 something. And there are even bigger retailers like Dollar Tree and General Dollar who are running 16,000 stores. So Costco, if you look at those numbers, would not consider it as a giant, right? But then from the other hand, if you say retailer in the state, retailer is big box, is department store. It's the same thing, it's just terminology. So if you say Costco, everybody would know Costco in the States and also out of the States. Everybody know what you're talking about, and it is considered as a giant. We will understand shortly why. So just to wrap up the basic thing that everyone understands what we're talking about here today, there are more or less 4 million physical stores in the USA. So I'm an Amazon seller. Well, I'm not, but let's say I am. So I'm an Amazon seller. I bring my products to USA. I take some time and efforts to establish a nice website. Sometimes I would even have a catalog because I'm thinking maybe I would sell wholesale, maybe I would work on Fiverr, places like that. Not Fiverr, sorry. What was the name? Forgot the name. There's a platform for B2B in the States. Just ran out of my head. Anyway, we get that back. Get back to that. So I have all this infrastructure for everything that is needed to sell my products. And eventually, I'm all relaying my business on Jeff Bezos, which is a great guy, but eventually he's taking care of his own business, not ours, right? We're just part of this giant called Amazon. And Amazon...
I couldn't say that better that you say that. It's so true.
Yeah. And then, and we all see that. I'm not trying to really talk about pain points here, but it is a pain point that, you know, you can wake up in the morning, and I've seen big sellers. I'm talking about, I have a friend which used to be on the top 50 sellers in the world. And I was looking at what he was doing. It was fascinating. And all of a sudden they closed his listing. And I was like, man, your business is, what was it? 8 figures, I think, something huge. Okay. He sold the business for over more than $30 million. And just like that, they close your business. Is that how it works? He said, no, it doesn't work like that. But here it is. That's what happened. It took him some time. He released it and everything. But just saying that, you know, eventually you're not an Amazon seller. You are a brand owner. You are the mind behind the thing called whatever your brand name is. Okay. So you got to the point where you understand that, which is great. And then you think, okay, let's start to work with retailers. So how do I do that? So obviously, there's tons of information that I released on my YouTube channel, and also in my last conversation with you, I spoke about it a bit. If people go to your YouTube channel or mine, they would both see in both places that we spoke about how to find buyers. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And yes, finding the buyer is one of the major things to do when you want to break through retail. It is very important. And this is something that we're talking about in our mastermind, in our courses and everything. But this is not the topic of the day. So let me just say that in terms of finding the buyer, it is one of the most important keys, but not the hardest part. This is not the hardest part. What is the hardest part, and how is it related with Costco? If you have questions down the road, feel free. Hit me.
I just want to say something, guys. There's the chat and the Q&A. They both are open for you to say hi, to put comment, to ask questions. We will take some breaks to answer the questions.
Great. So I used to divide it to 6 different things that you need to prepare before you start to apply the buyers. Let me go through them very quickly. It's not really 6, but let me go through this. So first of all, you need to know your pricing. If I'm selling my product MSRP $100 and I'm getting it COG, cost of goods, we call it LDP in retail, landed price, it's the same thing. Basically, what is my cost of the product? I want to ship this product, I'm selling it for $100, and I wanna know what's the cost in my warehouse in whatever, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Miami. So let's say my cost is $15, 15, okay? That's cool because basically in pricing, in most cases, the wholesale price would be somewhere between 35 to 50% of the MSRP. MSRP is the retail price. It's the same term. Manufacturer's suggested retail price. It's retail price. So my price on my website, on Amazon, on any platform I sell is $100. My cost is 15, but I can sell it for 35 or 45 or even 50. Okay, that's very briefly about pricing. You will get to know pricing down the road when you start working with buyers. But the biggest tip I can tell you is just don't be freaking afraid, because there's nothing to be afraid of. Eventually, the big news and the good news about retail is that you don't talk with Seller Central. You don't talk with bots. You don't talk with robots. You talk with people. Buyers are people. And it's easier because you can always ask questions and get answers and get on a call and ask, can we clarify this on a Zoom call? Sure, let's go on a Zoom call. Let's set a schedule. And then it's easier. And they do understand that sometimes brand owners would not be, 100%, if not even 70% familiar with all the terms they should be. Obviously, we are trying to educate the industry because we find it very important that people would know beforehand what's going to be the things they would need in terms of working with buyers. So pricing is the first one. Second is the branding. I'm not going to talk about the branding, although I can talk about branding for hours. But if I want to hear about branding, I'd rather listen to Noam Farrar, which we all know, because when it comes to branding, I thought I knew a lot, but then I heard him talking about it in our course, and I was like, wow, where was I? Like, he's bringing crazy information. But basically, what you need to know is that branding refers to two parts of your brand, which is your website, you want it to look properly, and your catalog, if you have one. If you don't, you need one, not a deal breaker. You would have, but again, trying to move forward to talk about Costco. And then the other part, you have to consider packaging. So here's the good news about Costco. The packaging would only be a showcase. The packaging that you have, even if it's a very good packaging, the best on earth, most cases and most chances that once you work with Costco, that will not be the packaging they would put on their store. And I'll explain to you why. So let's go step by step and talk about what exactly happens with Costco. So, okay, I found my contact, and now I know that I need to send them an email. So I'm sending them a brief, which is the fifth part of the retail readiness. What is a brief? Is an email saying, hello, I would like to introduce you to my products. Our brand X has been in the market for 5 years and this category, and we're doing this beautiful. Whatever you write in the brief, do not mention quality. Once they see any term related with quality or QC or stuff like that, it pops up to the buyers as if you were a manufacturer and they are afraid of working with manufacturers. They do work with manufacturers, but they rather work with brand owners like most of us, most of you guys. Why? Because the brand owner is releasing Costco from all this headache called production, QC, shipping. They don't want to deal with that. They want to take the product, get it ready in their warehouse, pay you for that, and goodbye. That's what they want. They want to deal with the inner business in the States, not a broad business, okay? And for that reason, most of the retailers, if not all of them, would never compete with the product they buy from you. They would not buy from you a product and try to produce it in China. It just doesn't happen. They don't work that way. Not to mention that US retailers has a lot of respect to business. Anyway, so you send that brief, but then you have to keep in mind something super important. The subject of that email you're sending is the most important thing. There's a lot of things I can tell you about that, but the best tip I can get you, if I don't want to talk about it for 2 hours, which I could, is do not use AI. I don't know how many podcasts you will hear today or webinars that someone will come up and say, don't use AI. I know, use AI. That's what everyone says, right? And I use it myself. I use not only GPT-4, but I also use GPT API for automations in our system. But when it comes to B2B language, surprisingly, none of the AI could do it properly. Not GPT and none of the others. And I tried tons of them, trust me. I got to know a lot of them, tried a lot of them, paid a lot of them. None of them could bring me a proper short description of a brand when it comes to B2B language, business to business, okay? Anyway, you sent that email, the brief, the buyer responds. Usually Costco would respond, thank you. They would play, and that's something you have to understand, they would play cold, okay? I don't know how to explain it, but you know how it is in each and every company. There's a company atmosphere, right? I've been dealing with companies that everybody was super, super cute and super helpful and very, you know, cooperative, but also worked with companies that has the exact opposite type of people. For some reason, there's an atmosphere for each and every company like that. And the atmosphere in Costco is very, I would say they're very precise, but they're very straightforward, meaning they would ask you exactly what they need. And if they don't like their answer, you will never hear from them again. At the best case, they will say, not relevant, thank you. Okay, which is the last thing on earth you want to hear. So in order not to hear that part, you want to answer properly. And very important, you don't want to write them a lecture. I've been seeing vendors responding, buyers from Costco, with once they saw that they were interested, they started to respond. The vendor responded saying like everything he could say. The only thing that was missing in one of those emails that I've seen was, you know, story of my life, where was I born? Like, come on, you have products, they've seen it, they understand that you have what it takes. Don't get too excited. Don't respond too fast. Give it an hour or two, not too fast, and play the game with them. It's a game. When it comes to buyers, it's always a game, and it's a game of patience. It's a game of understanding that the other side needs his time or her time to process the information. Keep in mind that the buyer has probably hundreds, if not thousands, of vendors they're talking with on a daily basis, and they need to collect, to collect all this information and then decide which one they're going to proceed with. So they want to know that you are professional. They want to know that you are on fire to work with them. But from the other hand, you're not going to bother them with bullcrap, right? And how would they recognize that in the first steps? By a response. If you were asked about a certain topic, that's what you're going to answer. You don't want to expand that much. And if you do it by attachment. We'll get to that in a second. So mostly, and I've seen that again and again, all the time happening with Costco, one of the questions they're asking is about, surprisingly, your yearly revenue. Now, why is Costco asking you about yearly revenue when they just got to know you, you know, a couple of emails ago? That's a term. It's the first time I said that. Couple of minutes, couple of hours, couple of emails ago. That's because the policy they have says that they will not buy from a vendor more than 20% of their revenue. So if you're doing, let's say, $10 million a year, that means that you're going to get purchase orders from Costco of maximum 2 million. And I'm talking about revenue. It doesn't matter what your expenses are. You might be left, not you, but someone might have a $10 million business, business and left in his pocket with 1 million. Well, it's not really happening, but let's say just for the example, they would still be able to buy $2 million worth of goods from that vendor. The reason why they have that policy is because they want to keep the vendor secure and not cause any Chapter 11, bankruptcy or stuff like that. Because if you are selling, let's say, $3 million a year, and they will give you another $2 million a year, good chances that it's going to be too complicated for you as a vendor with, you know, financing all the goods, working with the Chinese manufacturer. It means that your business is going to grow from here to here in no time, and that's not good, not for you and not for them. That's why they're taking these caution steps. Okay, understood that point. Next, you need to understand, before you even talk with them, you need to understand how are they selling the products? What is different about Costco? So Costco basically, and I will pause my stuff, I will pause talking in a second to answer some questions. Basically, they are a membership club. That means that you pay monthly or yearly or whatever, being a member. If you don't pay, you could either buy online, Costco.com, or you buy in stores, and then I think they add something like 5 or 7% to the prices if you don't have membership. And that even not includes all the branches, all the stores. Some stores you couldn't even walk in without the membership. So basically what it means is that the people who is paying membership, paying it because they know they're getting good deals at Costco, which bring us to the thing of a good deal. What is a good deal? If you have a product and you think, okay, I'm going to sell it to retailers, Macy's, Urban Outfitter, TJ Maxx, whatever, you're thinking about packaging. So you think, okay, I want to make a J-hook. I want it to be hooked on a hanger. I don't have a sample here of J-hook. Do I? Oh, yes, I do. So J-hook, you know, this is what a J-hook is. You want it to be on a J-hook, or you want it to be stacked on a shelf in a box, no problem. But when it comes to Costco, and you can check YouTube movies about Costco in-store, whatever you Google, you YouTube there, they are selling their products not from a shelf, but from a pallet. So eventually, your products are going to be shown on a pallet in a store. And keep in mind that Costco stores are huge in terms of space. That means that people go with those, you know, big carts between those pallets, and they just pick products from there. But the interesting thing about those pallets is that those pallets are not just ugly pallets as they are usually in factory, but they are more like, let me try and share with you a few examples of pallets just so that you know what I'm talking about and how it looks like from the inside. So here's an example of a pallet in Costco store. This arrived to the store closed from all four sides and the top, and this one as well, and this one. Now, if you look at the bottom part, when it was shipped, it was covering the upper part. Once it got to the store of Costco, stacked on the floor, they opened it, and then you have the promotion on the bottom side and the products on the upper side. They call this skirt pallet. I know it doesn't make that sense. Maybe it does. To me, it doesn't. But they call it skirt because it's being opened from here and then it's covering the pallet as if it was a skirt. Well, a skirt should not have been up there, right? But anyway, that's why I don't understand this term. But anyway, that's how they call it. Okay. Here's another example of one of the brands we work with. It's an illustration of how they built the pallet before they even got the purchase order. And the reason why they did this rendering is exactly from the reason of what I'm talking about here today, that you want, in one picture, you want to show the buyer that you know exactly what they need, you know how Costco is operating, and you're 100% ready. This means a lot for them, okay? It means a lot because for them, they understand they're going to skip the part where they have to share with you how it works in terms of pallets, what you need to know about their policy, about their guidance. Like normally for a new vendor, they would share with you a couple of guidance. So just for example, I'm jumping for a second to the Costco.com area, just for a second. It's not the topic here. But once you want to send them images for the Costco.com platform, you have an imagery standards. You're not just sending whatever image you want, obviously. And this is how they want it to be. That quality, resolution, file format, submission, all these, you know, small technical details. So basically, when you see that you are on it and you already know what their expectations are, it's very easy for them because they know that they don't need to go with you through their, going back to our conversation about the palette, they don't need to walk you through palette instruction file, which is obviously a very simple file. You know what? It's funny, but all these files, you're not going to read them. You're not going to deal with them. There are a lot of companies who can do that for you, including the palettes themselves and the design. Pause, questions. Let me look at the chat. Yes, can you elaborate on how to structure emails?
There is a couple of questions, mostly about the emails that you send them, what you include, what's the structure of the email.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going backwards a little bit. I know I went a little bit, too deep with what I said, because I thought, okay, let's try, to really dive into the Costco specific thing. And this structure of email subject and what to include, basically, if you wanted to be doing it properly, you'll have to listen to at least an hour and a half of talking about it from our team, but not gonna do it. So basically, think about who's asking it. 1 second. It was LW or LW. You want to focus first on the subject, because the subject is gonna determine if the buyer is going to open the email or skip it. Now, they're getting tons of emails, and the art of working with the buyer or getting their attraction is the subject. That's an art for itself. Think about 5 to maximum 7 words in the subject line. Why? Because you don't want it to be too short, because if it's too short, the message would not go through. But if it's too long, they're going to look at it, what is it? If the subject is so long, I don't want to see the email, because that's going to be, it's going to break my head. Forget it. I just want to know what I'm looking at. It's the same thing with everything that we see these days. People have no patience whatsoever. You're coming to a podcast about Costco. You want to get the $1 million tip right in the first minute. I wish I could. Everybody wish they could do that. It's impossible. You need to go and work for it, at least a little bit. What I've been working with, like half an hour we have been working here. Hi, Oleg. Just a second, I'll get your question. So 5 to 7 words. Now, again, don't use terms like quality. And if you're selling obvious categories, what is obvious category? Let me give you an example. Toys. Okay, so if you're saying flash toys made by whatever, you can imagine that they've seen flash toys for what, thousands of times. You need to find an alternative term to toys, which is not easy. And in that case, AI can help you, not only Google. It wouldn't build a sentence for you properly, but it will give you tons of alternatives, good alternatives for the term toys, like parallel terms and words and keywords, okay? So you wouldn't say flash toys, you would call it whatever. That's my biggest tip about that topic. Oleg is asking what the minimum number of brands for beginning with Costco. Branches. Okay, that was my next topic, so I'll dive into it in a second. Right now, basically, usually they start with 16 stores, 16. They usually order between 2 up to 4 pallets a store. Now, if we go back and look at the pallets that I just mentioned, I'll try to open it right away. If we go back to them, you would notice that we are looking at something like, this is another mock-up. Here you have, as far as I remember, 100 and something products per pallet. So let's say it's just 100, okay? 100 by, let's say, minimum of 2 pallets, that comes to 200. 200 by 16 is a nice quantity, but that's just a test order. And it all depends what's the price. We'll talk about the pricing today as well. So that means 16, to your question, multiple between 2 and 4 pallets. Once they do that test, it's going to take them a couple of weeks, obviously. Once it's finished, if the product is success in the stores, you're going to get same order, 2, 3, 4 pallets, multiply 500 stores. I know they have 600. Usually they go on the second, third step to 500 stores. Why they do it? No idea. That's how they do it. I guess some of the branches are not really covering all the categories. They have some branches inside the 600, some of them that are not covering all the categories. Just keep in mind that Costco originally was meant for food and supplements and stuff like that. Nowadays, they're selling everything. Batteries, wine, I don't know, sell accessories, whatever, you name it. Okay.
Big furnitures.
Furnitures, like you name it. Yeah. We'll get to the pricing, but before we get there, is there a way to know beforehand if the category or product stands a chance of Costco accepting it? In short, no. If you don't jump to the water, you don't know how it feels. I can tell you it's hot. Michal can tell you it's so-so. Another person will tell you it's cold. If you don't jump, you don't know how it feels for you. Same thing with the products. And why am I saying that? Obviously, if you're selling something that everyone has in the market, let's say mobile covers, there's so many companies and so much inventory of mobile covers in the States, just like wipes, wet wipes. Why are there so many wet wipes? Because of COVID years. People got stuck with millions of wet wipes in the States. So obviously that's not something that you want to sell them because they have, too much of it. But as long as you have nice product, an interesting product, even if there's millions of sellers like you are different because most of those millions would not approach Costco. Most of them would not even attend our webinar, which is a shame they're not. And they wouldn't know things that you right now learning. And most important, from Costco side, you don't know what's happening. Here is a short story, okay, very short. The palette I showed you earlier, rendered, was a palette of not flashlight, the flashlight they put on the head. What was the name? I forgot the name, the term. Anyway, it's just a flashlight. It's just a headlamp. Headlamp is the name. And one of the biggest companies called Energizer used to produce it for Costco. Now, this vendor came and he's based in Israel. He has a US company as well, but it doesn't matter. You can sell them like from anywhere. You can sell them as a whatever company. You don't need a US company. That was another question here by Erica. You don't need a US company. You can be whatever. And anyway, they looked at his product and they say, you know what? It's been some time. We're trying to remove Energize from this section because their product is just not selling. So we're going to test yours. They tested him 4 pallets, 144 pieces per pallet. I can't forget it. By 16 stores. And a month and a half later, they placed the same order for 500 stores. That was just the beginning. Why? Because his product was selling. And think about it. Like he told me, listen, I would never dream to compete with Energizer. I told, yeah, me as well. Like I would never think about it. I wouldn't even try, right? Energizer, like think about it. It's huge. It's $1 billion company or who knows how much. But here we are. Costco is not selling them that well. The product is not so popular. And you're coming as a micro brand without all those, big numbers, and you step in and you make it. I wonder, Michal, if I should talk about pricing now or go through questions. What do you think? Let's go through questions, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's just one or two more questions. Let me see the face.
You got it. If Costco sell your products online, how do you know that Costco will, I need my glasses, but Costco will not compete with you and the price, then Amazon will take buy a box from you? I'm not sure if I understand this because Amazon is not my field, but are you trying to...
I understand the question. So one thing with Amazon and Walmart as well is that their algorithm is searching for the lowest price online. So if I'm selling a product on Amazon and Walmart in $20 and now Costco is selling it online for $15, you're gonna get a little trouble with Amazon and Walmart. Amazon will take you out of the buy box. It means you can still sell it, but you kind of lose your name in the buy box. So customers need to do some more
for this question.
Effort.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
Yeah. So here now you can take it from here.
Yes. So that was supposed to be part of today's webinar, and thank you for asking me this because if you wouldn't, I wouldn't look at my paper written on the side with this topic. Here's the thing, and it goes to pricing as well, covering your question. They look at your products, they like it, everything is cool. Now they're telling you, listen, we want to change a little bit the product, whether the packaging or attributes in the product, whatever it is. Why they do it? From the exact question you're asking here. Here's the thing, Costco works between, surprise, surprise, working between 16 to 19% markup. That means that if your product is selling for $19.99, they would buy it from you for around 16.5 up to 17, more or less. If you think about it, it doesn't make sense. How can they work that way? All the retailers would buy half of the retail price, if not less. It's different with Costco because they're, again, infrastructure, that's why I talk about it, of selling from pallets. They don't have shelves. They barely need all the insanely labor that other retailers needs. It's so simple in their chain, chain of supply that they save a lot of cost. Plus, they make the money before the customer even walk into the store because the customer is paying the membership. And that's how they can afford pricing to be better than the others. Majority of the income of Costco is basically from the membership and not from the products. People do not know it. You know what? It's funny how I even realized that because I heard it in the news when a minister in Israel was trying to bring Costco to Israel. And then they explained that. And I didn't knew that the majority of their income is the membership. Remember, 𝗢𝗲𝗄𝗏 Smotrich wanted to bring them in, right, Michal? Maybe you've seen that on the news. Anyway,
yeah.
So to your question.
Can I add something quick?
Just let me finish that point
Okay.
and then. So then, let's say your product, Ori Basher, is selling for $29.99. That would change, sorry, that would change it. It would be the same product, but you could be, oh man, I'm coughing like crazy, but you will be able to price it $19.99 for them only. Amazon would not have anything to do with it because it's a different SKU. You changed whatever you changed, and they could sell it for 19. You could sell it for them for 17 or 16, which would be probably better if you would sell it for $29.99 with another retailer asking you to sell it to them for $13, $14, $15, right? So that covers exactly that issue with pricing on other places. Plus, we just covered the pricing topic with them. Go ahead. Sorry, Michal.
Yes. Just one thing that I want to say is, we most of us, I'm going to Costco, I'm going to Sam's Club, to different stores. Usually when you go to stores like that, the product that you're buying is, like you said in the beginning, it's always come with different packaging. That's exactly because they're trying to put an offer that is not competing with nobody. So usually if you sell supplements 60 pack, now with Costco, they will ask you to make 100 pack or 120. If you sell whatever item, it's going to usually come different pack. It's going to come with a different UPC because the algorithm is mostly scanning titles and UPC. So again, the way they put the content online is different than your content on Amazon. This is why it's so important when you sell in multiple places to have different content, because that's what the algorithm are trying to match. So I hope that's giving you a little bit more information about how you really, there is no reason why you're gonna get in trouble if Costco or any other store that is in that kind that you creating a new offer for, it will not hurt your Amazon sales.
True. Thank you for that, Michal. Just going briefly on the questions, would Costco work with exclusive distributors or only brand owners? They would work with both. They don't really mind. The trouble with distributors as a vendor, for us, for me, for you, is that this, unlike rep agent, which is what I am taking commission for per deal, distributors would buy from you and sell them. So when it comes to Costco, it's very complicated because of all the back and forth. Plus, they would try to kill you, so-called, with the pricing, because as lower as your price, wholesale price, as bigger as the profit they have, which is the exact opposite with rep agents like myself. If I manage to get $15 for you instead of 13, it's better for me because my commission is bigger. Get to understand the difference. But anyway, they work with both. What was another question?
Somebody asked if you can repeat the markup percentage.
Basically, they work. You need to understand there is markup and there is margin. Margin means that if your MSRP, retail price, is $50 and the margin is, let's say, 60%, that means that out of the $50, they would take 30 to themselves. Markup, which is what I'm talking about in terms of Costco, markup means from your wholesale price, how much percentage they add for themselves until they get to the retail price. And we're talking about between 60 to 19 or maximum 20%. So let's say 20%. So as just like the example I gave before with selling them for 16 point something dollars and they sell it for $19.99 and everyone is happy. Is it true about fees and chargebacks can eat you up? Yes and no. If you're being a complete, whatever the word is, idiot, if you're being a complete whatever, and not doing anything in the process properly, then yeah, you're going to get chargebacks, and the chargeback is going to be painful. Yet, it's not their target to kill you with chargebacks, because then they build the business with you without any option to repeat it, because you're going to get the chargeback, you're going to be upset, you're not going to have any profit whatsoever, and then you would not want to produce for themselves again, and then the buyer work with you for nothing. Keep in mind that the buyer have a bonus per the sales of the products they bring every year. And if they work with you as a vendor and seeing repeat orders, they have, comparing to the first order, they have like 5% of workload with you as a vendor. So for them, they have no interest to do that. But again, you have to be doing the process properly. Otherwise, definitely there are chargebacks. We try to avoid that. The only company I've really seen big chargebacks, talking big, was Macy's, to be honest with you. And that's for another podcast.
We have a question from the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking if he's selling canned product. Is that the same rules for the pallets? If it's canned groceries item, in cans?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they have different type of pallet, if I remember correct. But if you've seen the pictures I just shared before, right here, one of it at least that I remember, or maybe the picture is not here, or maybe I mixed it from another place. What's happening here? Why am I not opening? Oh, here it is. Oh, it ran away. You see that this is a liquor. So canned liquor, food, drinks, it all comes this way, as you can see on the side here, on the left side. It's just different design and different regulation in terms of the, depends on the weight, but the strength of the pallet. But basically, it's the same, yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? This pallet was very pretty. So, now you're not used to selling pallets. And now you're working with Costco, you're selling in pallets. Who's help you with creating those designs, this packaging of this pallet? How does it work?
There are 20 or more big known companies that are doing pallets for Costco in the States. Very easy to Google and find them. And basically, there are many more, but those are the big ones. They are capable of doing everything from you, from the design of the pallet through production, both in China or the States, whatever make it works for you. And even, communicating with your manufacturer to make sure they load it on the pallet. So basically you come with your artwork and they take it to the next step because they know exactly the regulation. Plus, most of them work directly with Costco, so they are verified by Costco, and then you have no problems. Yes, you're going to pay for that, but doesn't matter because you're going to do it only once you have an order, not a second before. Yes. About my fees, I see that LW is asking. So basically, it's not really the place to talk about because it's a specific service that we have, a done-for-you service, which is really, really, how would I define it? Really for specific brands and not something that we're taking, tons of brands or anything. But you brought me to another topic that I had in mind to speak with. So you've listened to what I've just said a little bit. I know I'm going a bit to the end of the webinar, although it's not the end until Michal says it is. But basically, that's just the tip of the iceberg about Costco. There's a huge course that I've been putting together with Aaron Harbage and Noam Farrar, the guy with the bird, where we basically went with the bird. Sorry, I'm always doing that.
That's good. I'm sure he's laughing.
Always, yeah. And we had that same conversation with him, me and Aaron. It's crazy. I don't know. There's a bug in my head with this term. So anyway, we've been putting together a huge course of more than 60 sessions, and it's growing all the time. Plus, going through, each and every topic. I spoke about, like, I don't know, what, 1% out of all the topics that are out there. Basically, that course is meant for vendors to be able to really take themselves and start working with retailers. Not only that, but we also give access during the course to all of our SOPs, and even to our contacts, our buyers. So you don't need to look for the contacts. You will learn how to do it, but you don't need to do it, because we really give it, again, we built it for more than a year. Basically, that course is $19.99, but as for being hosted here today with Michal, we have a special deal that was planned for today, and that was to sell it for $1,499, $1,499. And basically, just before I came here, I had a conversation, a quick one with my team, and I asked them to do something, really special for this event today. It's the first time I'm taking a topic like that, which is usually, a very specific topic, and trying to go with a lot of details inside. And you have the link, by the way, to the course just posted by Michal. So I'm going into details, but not only going to details, but really releasing secrets from the insides, hints from the inside, topics from the inside. So for today, we made it, I've been able to make it with the team to work for us, that we're gonna have 50% off. I don't think it's gonna last for more than a few days, because this is not a normal price, but I had to come up with something special for Michal's show. So basically, you can use the code 999 now for the link that Michal just sent, shared in here, and that's going to bring you the course of $999. Believe me, there's no course like that out there with all the information that we're bringing. You've just seen a little bit of that today.
You want to share the page of the course? I can share it if you want.
I think you just did, didn't you?
No, yeah, if you want to share the screen and show what's in there.
Oh,
if you want to go over it. But
yeah, sure.
I was kind of digging a little bit, and like you say, there you can hear a lot of information about retail. It is, as a brand owner, you told in the podcast we were talking about that there is more than 30,000 chains stores in the US, and that's blow my mind. I thought it's like maybe 1,000, 2,000. I didn't know there is.
Sounds like a mistake, I know.
Yeah, it sounds like, there's so many, but it's kind of makes sense, because, some chains are not all over the US, and, and some chains people wouldn't think they're chains, like the dollar store, but it's a chain, right? Or, the 99-cent store. So a lot of them are chain stores. And so it's mean that it doesn't matter what product you have, your item potentially can fit one of them. So that's because a lot of people think like, maybe my product is not a good fit, or like, how do I know if I can? You can never know, but try. And somebody was asking here a question: is it easier to get your product into Costco or Walmart stores? I guess. And my answer is like, you have to try. Like, what's your answer? Do you think it's easier either, or you just have to try?
I personally did not work with Walmart too much in the last couple of years. There's a huge movement into the Walmart marketplace. And then if you want to go out of the marketplace towards the stores, they want you to prove that you're selling more than, I think, $80,000 revenue a month with them online to get you in stores. So I haven't done that road. I used to work with the Walmart, very big volume, but as a manufacturer, not as a vendor. So I don't want to mislead you. I personally think that it's easier with Costco. Okay. from the angles that I spoke about. When it comes to categories, probably yes, Walmart has more categories than Costco. There's another questions that I wanted just to quickly go through. Is there any additional cost like extra payment for better shelf place? No, there aren't. And if there are, it's only going to be bringing traffic to the .com, but I'm not going to talk about the .com. It's a complete different thing today. So basically the answer is no. When do you get paid from Costco? After the customer buy or once the Costco receive the pallets. You have nothing to do with the consumer whenever they're buying or not buying. Let's say they're not buying. You don't care as long as you send them, ship them the order. Once the order hits their warehouse, which is called DC, by the way, know the terms, it's good. DC stands for distribution center. Once it hits their DC, they start to count between 30 to 60 days. Usually it's 60 days. They tell you, oh, payment term net 60, which means start counting 60 days from the point where we're getting the goods from you. But you can always negotiate the payment terms. And that's something that even very experienced vendors did not know and found themselves paying net 60 for years while they could have been get net 30 or net 45. So those are the terms. Did I miss any question here? I did not get the link. Someone here is asking for the link, which is LW.
The link is in the chat. So yeah, you guys can.
Don't forget to use the 50% off code, which is, I'll try to copy that again as well.
Yeah, it's also in the chat. There you go. So $9.99 now. We give you 50%. And I know Norm, and I know there were like for even a year ago, I remember you guys were talking about building that course. So I know if it took you a year, it's probably packed with amazing information. And what I like is that really give all the information and the templates and even names and contact of buyers. And that's just gonna, if you are serious about retail, it's just gonna save you tons of time, because I feel like where we get stuck sometimes is just to learn something. And so if we can get a shortcut, that's what I would do for sure.
People are writing, thank you. People are writing that they don't see the link. I don't know why.
It's in the chat. Maybe,
you can see, maybe we're not in the right.
Comments?
Probably not.
Everyone attended again.
Let's click it, everyone. I think that's. Let me just try and share your link. Where was it?
Let us know if you see our comments in the chat.
Facebook chat. Okay, Facebook chat is on your side, not on mine. Oh, they say got it now. Yeah, I think there was something there says in the Windows say only for participants. Now I clicked for everyone and it looks like it went through. I guess it's because you shared it now. Okay. Okay, thanks, Ori. Thanks, LW. Yes. Okie dokie.
Do we have any questions? Let us know. Let me also check like another question that I'm thinking, I know we talked about it, the categories and stuff, but is there any category that it's more easy to get into to Costco? Because there's a bunch of groceries there. Like, is that actually easier or harder? Because probably a lot of them competing, and there are also a lot of things they're not staying there forever. Like, that's the thing. If I go to Costco, every time I come, there's completely different groceries items in some sections. Like, mostly not the basic stuff, but like the cookies and snacks for kids. Usually I would go there just to grab, a couple of boxes of snacks for my kids, because God knows how fast they're eating all those snacks. So there's always new stuff.
I think, basically, personally, sorry, I do not do.
You froze for a second. All right, you guys, let me see. Let me know if you guys can hear him.
doesn't really matter what category. I did with them gardening, outdoor, electricity. Now I'm doing, well, it has to do with food. And here's a good tip for everyone of how to present your goods to them. So this is a way to present it. This is from a vendor of ours. So this is coffee accessories, not the coffee itself. It just has to do. But look at, I don't even want to go to the catalog and everything. I just want to show you something. My brand name, 𝗥𝗲𝗁𝗃. When I send them a presentation like that, they immediately understand that I am completely oriented to work with them. I know what they expect and I'm there. I'm ready for them. Okay, it's an interesting.
That was a nice insight, you guys. I hope you took it. So I'm sure there's, again, amazing information in the course. And I told Talor, when he was asking me what topic we should talk about, we were thinking about how to approach buyers on Costco. And so I told him, you know, all the topics are so good and I'm sure people want to hear everything. So, you know, I hope you can come again. So maybe we can have another webinar in a couple of weeks. If
I guess the next one is going to be about Macy's.
Macy's, yeah. I think also people would like to know, because there was a lot of question, you know, how you present to the buyers, like something like that, just what you showed now, how you create that beautiful presentation that buyer will, to get the attentions of the buyers, because those buyers getting, you know, hundreds of emails every day, probably.
Right. And the big art, which is what we're talking about all the time in the course, in the relevant sessions, the big art is to learn and execute how to make the buyer take your brain, pick it out of hundreds of others and say, oh, I want to see samples. Once you get their attention, they're asking for samples, boom, 50% of the work is done. You only have to maintain and keep up, you know, keep up the good work. But this is the biggest part of the business with buyers, to get their attention. And it's like, it's really an art. I'm still learning it every day, to be honest with you. Although I'm teaching it, but I'm still learning that as well.
Yeah.
So
a quick tip. It's not related to this topic, but kind of, because people are, you know, we're still in the Walmart group in here. So right now with Walmart, to get access to their buyer, guys, you know, there's the open call. It's once a year. You guys can apply to that. And the one that will get the attention is the one that's already on .com and doing very, very good. So if you're not on .com, they will ask you go to .com and then come and pitch next year. So a quick tip, make sure you are on .com. If you want to ever get to Walmart store, you have to start on .com and you know, show you're selling, and you need to do a good job. And that's, we talk about it all the time, how to do a good job. So make sure you come in and watching that as well. Somebody's asking, can he use the course for 2 of his team members?
So I was just about to respond LW about it. I'm not sure about it. I need to check with my team because they are doing, you know, the operational and infrastructure side. So I'll drop you here. I'm not sure if everyone sees that. My email, so you can touch base and I can check that with my team and respond to you. That would be, is that my email? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Right.
So we will have more sessions about retail. As I see, you know, there's so many people joining us today. So
Amazing.
Guys, I hope you're also going to join us tomorrow in the Selling on Walmart Facebook group or YouTube channels. We will have another live with Isabella Rich. She's amazing in product development. So if you, before you know, thinking, oh, maybe that I can come up with a new product that's going to be a good fit for Costco. So she's going to do a reverse engineering on finding product, and she's amazing. So hope you guys join us. That's going to be tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern. Again, it's on the Facebook group, in the YouTube. We share links if you want to join. So come and join us. And if you have more questions, just please post them in the Facebook group. We will be there and respond. If you're not in the Facebook group, so please join Selling on Walmart Marketplace. That's the Facebook group. It's absolutely free. We going live in there at least once a week. So thank you so much, Talor.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today. LW, the code should work. I don't know why you're saying it's not, but I could definitely check it with you. So here is my email in case you need any assistance on that. My Facebook group. Yeah, I'll drop it to you.
Yeah, what I have is 999 now, right?
Yeah, that should be the code. I don't know why it's not working. I'll need to check with Aaron. It should work. It worked just before I joined here. He tested it and said it's working. So
let us know in the comment, okay? And again, feel free to reach to me or Talor. Talor is under info@retail-empire.com, and you can reach me through the Facebook group or at Michal@𝗢𝗲𝗄𝗏𝗘.com as well, or LinkedIn. Feel free to just message me if you have any questions, okay?
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me today, Michal. It was a pleasure. Thank you, everyone that listened. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. I will make sure you guys all get a follow-up email with all the information, and we will let you know about the next time we have a webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, Talor.
Thanks, Michal. See you soon.